Hello, everyone, and welcome. In this session, I will be talking about Taleo Enterprise Edition. I'm Fabrice de Carnavalet. I'm a Senior Director of Product Management at Oracle, in charge of the outbound product management for Taleo Enterprise Edition, TBE, and also the new Oracle recruiting. So I don't know if you still see, no, yeah. So we have the safe harbor statement because I will be talking about things that are upcoming. And we need to make sure that you don't make any decision based on this presentation only. So today I want to talk about the overall strategy of Taleo and Oracle Recruiting, the new recruitment solution that we have in the cloud, in the Fusion stack. Then I will talk about the Taleo market leadership. And obviously we'll be talking about Fluid Recruiting, our humongous project that is arriving to a term at the end of the year. And I will allude to the key recent announcements. And eventually I will talk about what's beyond 2020, and I will take a Q&A at the end of this session. So let's start with the overall strategy, Taleo and Oracle Recruiting. So as you know, we have two lines of talent acquisition solutions for our enterprise customers. So one is Taleo Enterprise, and that's the historic, I would say, and famous talent acquisition solution that is now dedicated to standalone customers. And then we have Oracle Recruiting, which is the new one that is being built on the Fusion technology. And that really leverage the full unification for customers who are using our core HR HCM suite customers. So our strategy is to continue investing in both products, and I will explain why. So because we want our Taleo customers to be happy and at a point in time to choose to do their transformation to the cloud using our HCM solution. And at this point in time, they will be happy to switch to the Oracle Recruiting solution. But if they are not ready, or if they already have a core solution that is good enough for them, which I doubt, obviously, if it's not ours, we want them to have a positive experience and perception of Taleo in order to be able to get renewals. And also we want to get new standalone customers. That's for us a way to put the foot in the door and to make sure that these customers will start, I would say, appreciating the ups and downs of the Taleo Enterprise and the Oracle solutions overall. Okay, so you can understand that we continue investing in both solutions because this makes sense from a strategic point of view. There is also another good reason why we are continuing investing in Taleo. First of all, because we still have many enterprise customers, and even more Taleo Business Edition customers with a high product satisfaction score. So maybe you don't perceive that, but I was just speaking yesterday with a customer who moved to Smart Recruiter, and because it was a mandate by the company. And he was telling me that Smart Recruiter is not doing half of what they need to do what they need to do for their recruitment solution. So long story short, don't think that Taleo is going away, and we continue investing in this solution to make our enterprise customers even happier. What I would like to tell you as well is that we have many customers. So approximately 300 customers have migrated from Taleo to Oracle Recruiting, but so we still have 1,600 plus Taleo Enterprise customers. That represents nearly 500 million requisitions, 15 billion applications, 9 billion candidates. And over the last 12 months, it's only over the last 12 months, these numbers. So nearly 640 million hires. So that's not a business that you can stop from one day to another, for sure. And believe me, it's still a lot of money for Oracle. So that's really what's important to understand. Overall, we are still getting awards, and we are getting new awards as well. So I will talk about that. But for Taleo, and that's something that I like to put in our clients' minds, is the fact that our customers are still managing to get very, very positive candidate experiences by leveraging sourcing, for example, like a Geico, or by putting some effort in the branding of their career sites. Okay, so that's really what's important for you to understand. You still you have all the tools at your disposal to provide a great candidate experience to your candidates. Yeah, you need to put some effort in it. Unfortunately, we can't do your employer brand for you. So, and in the same spirit, in 2019, 30 of the North American Candy Award laureates were running either, the vast majority of them was running Taleo Enterprise Cloud. Some of them were running TBE, and one of them was on Oracle Recruiting Cloud. And what is even more surprising, that among the 50s, among all the laureates for the EMEA winners, we had 57% of them were using Taleo Enterprise. So once again, yeah, you can see the bottle half empty, but you can also see the bottle nearly fully full. So that's it. So I will stop the marketing part here, and let's talk about fluid recruiting, and let's reflect on what remains in this journey. So that's something that we started in 2017, so more than 3 years ago. And we are nearly at the end, so I will recap on the goals. We want this user experience to be more modern and flash-free, obviously. We want that to be more intuitive, mobile responsive, which is by far the one of the biggest achievement that you will get by adopting Fluid, and we want that to eventually get extensible. And so we are nearly done for the 3 first circles here. So the 3 first targets: modern, intuitive, and mobile. We still have to do some work on the intuitiveness, and we get that from your feedbacks. And we will start working on the extensibility in 2021. So talking about feedback, we are listening to what you're saying, customers and partners, but customers in priority. So you like the mobile support, you like the modern look and feel, you like the overall usability improvement. The summary card is something that sits on the left-hand side of the screen. And that's something that the majority of our customers do like very much. The kudos to the resume preview that I mean the recruiters are ecstatic about. The fine fields in details, that's something that you can do because it's HTML, so that's great. The offer grid has received a lot of positive comments as well, and the approvals so far is a kind of yeah. I mean, yeah. On this one, yeah. We have received recent feedback that we are not as good as the previous one. So we will continue working on that. So where you want to see improvements as customers is the quick search for requisition, and we've heard that. You want to have more filtering improvements, be able to add advanced filters for the requisitions, for example, and the auto apply of filters. And that's something that we will be taking into account as well. You don't like the list view limit, the fact that you have only 15 rows available on a page, and we thought it was a good idea to have a pagination, and by the way, the product manager in charge is still advocating for that. But yeah, it's a given. We will change that, and the fact that as opposed to Flex, you are not able to customize your own list as recruiters, and that's something that you want to see as well. The filtering on correspondence templates is not yet where it should be. And we have some mixed feedback, but I haven't heard that for quite a while about the general performance on certain pages. So that's something that we are taking into account right now. And the need to apply to a filter button every time you enter a new filter, or every time you want to filter on a list, it's something that you don't like that much. And the last thing that we've just added is and that's something that we discussed. I mean, I don't know if you were in this session last year, but that's something that we discussed last year that I brought up many times to our product management, and eventually something that has been heard, the fact that you need to do the configuration in Internet Explorer, whereas you can't use the Internet Explorer for your day-to-day work. So that's something that has been heard, and that we will put on the roadmap for 2021. Okay, so that's the very transparent and fair acknowledgement of what still needs to be done, and I will tell you about what we plan to do about that. Okay. So we've just delivered 20B3, which was previously named 20C, but for very internal reasons we had to rename it. So that's I mean, so that's why this maintenance pack has features as well. So we delivered position management, the possibility to edit the requisition structure, possibility to share jobs to social media, create new candidates using referral flows, flipping. This one is quite good, flipping navigation on submission details, which means that you can navigate from submissions to submissions in the submission details. Multi-level sorting in the lists, trigger onboarding from submission list context. So that's something that was also asked by customers. And some limitations that were introduced by the Fluid UI that we had to work on. So the possibility to use more than 20 org levels, which was something that I mean, that was new to me, that customers had more than 20 levels, which means that we have very big customers and customers who still have to work on their organization. And then we have additional task list filters that was also delivered in 20B3. So if you've not taken yet 20B3, the recommendation is not maybe to uptake 20B4 that contains all we have in 20B3. So where are we with this long journey that was started with 17.0, if you remember? So we are at the end, and obviously that's now we have this 20D mandatory update on November for 20D that will become generally available on the 23rd of November. So you have to uptake 20D from that moment onward. I think you have 2 months and a half to do that and to move to production with 20D, not only for Fluid, but because there are some security improvements that are mandatory for you to uptake and for the sake of your data. So what does 20D contain? So what is missing until now is the management of the libraries. So what we are adding in 20D is the, I would say, the needed capabilities to manage your requisition templates, to manage your pre-screening questions, and to manage your disqualification questions, okay? So that's, and I've put the details here because I always have the question, so what comes in part 1? So in part 1 for requisition templates, the core capability required to create and manage pre-screen and manage requisition templates. Sorry, there is a typo here. View, create, and edit. For the pre-screening questions, there is a core capabilities to create and manage pre-screening questions. So view, create, edit, and associate with OLF structures. And the way to manage disqualification questions. So the same capabilities as the pre-screening questions, sorry. What we are introducing as well with 20D is the capability to manage your evaluation management libraries. So all the questions, all the forms, that's a transposition of Flex that we are doing. That's a shortcut. So you will find the look and feel that you used to have in Flex because this was already developed in HTML. So that's easier for us to do that and maybe to work on the look and feel a little bit later. And then what we are also bringing with 20D is the possibility to use embedded reporting for our customers who are using embedded reporting. So as a reminder, since not everybody is aware of what is embedded reporting, so embedded reporting is a light reporting solutions available to, I would say, users who are not OBIEE user, also Oracle Business Intelligence for Enterprise Edition users. That's a different tab, that's a different solution. And embedded reporting is really ingrained into Taleo. And then I've talked about that earlier. You not screamed, but you were very adamant about the fact that you wanted the requisition quick search back in Fluid. So we've reshuffled the priorities and we are delivering the requisition quick search on rec ID, UDFs, keywords, etc. In 20D. So I hope this will please your recruiters. And then usually the next question that I have, so what's coming next and when is it coming? So we have the disqualification question and pre-screening question remainders in 21A. So retaining filter and sorting when navigating between detail and list view. Additional facet and filters to sort and filter the list, duplicate batch action and history tab. And then in the requisition templates 21A, we have the delete, recover, and duplicate capabilities. Okay, and the advanced filters in the templates. Then we will deliver additional functional capabilities. I'm not 100% confident that this will be delivered in 21A, but that's the plan so far. So manage and update list format, so requisition, submission, and candidates. So be able, that was one of the recriminations that we've seen in the previous slide, be able for recruiters to create their own lists when they manage requisitions and submissions. Be able to delegate tasks as well. So that's something that we thought that was not heavily used, but the feedback that was not aligned with what we thought or what we had measured, and the possibility to delete a candidate submission. So on this one, in the meantime, you can use the possibility for candidates to deactivate themselves if they want to be GDPR compliant. And also you can still use the mass updates to delete the candidates that are marked as to be deleted or that arrive at end of life. That's not a nice terminology, but that's what it is. So after a certain period in Europe, you have to delete your candidates and your submissions if they are more than, it depends on the country, 18 months, 36 months, etc. So we will also deliver Manage My Setup. So that's something that I've been advocating for. So far, it's not 100% sure it will be delivered with 21A, but that's the possibility for the user to click on his or her name and I would say manage default settings like the frequent collaborators, etc., etc. And then we will have the functional refinement. So based on the list that you sent us and the feedback, sorry, that you sent us during the last month. So improve correspondence filters. So that's the way to get the correspondences in a quicker way, and to make sure that you don't have to click 3 times before you find the one that you're looking for. Additional filtering, it's all about the filters in the list format. And what is also important to understand, that we will work on the list views to increase the number of candidates and submissions and whatever you have in the list to more than 15. So far the outcome is not yet decided. We are looking at how many rows we can have as a maximum. I don't think it will be 1,000 rows like we have today in Flex, but we'll try to make this at least more usable than just the 15 rows that you have today. And the last one is the reduce clicks on filtering. Okay. And the idea here is that as in Flex, you don't have to click on apply filter in order to see your filter taken into account once you've entered it. Okay, so that's it for H1 2021, and we'll do more obviously in the second half of 2021. Next slide. I don't think that's super interesting. So that's yeah, we have the 20B5 maintenance pack that should be out this week. Next one is 20D, and as I've said, that's a mandatory update, and you have 2 months to uptake it, 2.5 months. And then we will have additional maintenance packs starting in January 2021. So talking about 20D, so the target delivery date, I'm repeating myself, is November 23rd. And you have this mandatory update period between December and the end of March. The staging will be applied between December and January, and you should have received a general notification about that. And production between January and March. If you can, I would say, request for an earlier update, and you can do that through SR. So I mean, obviously, there is not an unlimited bandwidth to update all the production and staging zones. So the earlier you log your SR, the better it is. So I've been told yesterday that you can log your SR 15 days before the theoretical GA date. So at the beginning of November, I mean, first week of November, you should be able to log your SRs to tell to the cloud ops when you want your zones to be updated. Okay, so as we've said, the 20D and we have the freeze period as well as Oracle between the 21st of December and the 3rd of January, and both dates are included. So with that, I want to highlight two strategies that you can apply. So the first one is that you are confident enough that you will have enough time between the 23rd of November and the 20th of December to test your application, to test this new quarterly update. So that's, and if you are confident enough that you can do that, obviously, you uptake 20D as soon as possible, so on the 23rd of December, and you create an SR as soon as possible as well to say to CloudOps that you want your production to be updated before December 21st. And with that, you won't have any gap between the capabilities. I mean, the only gaps that you will have will be the ones that are planned for first half of 2021, but that's really tiny gaps, I would say. And so you will be able to manage your libraries directly into Taleo starting January 3rd, if you resume work on January 3rd. Okay. That's, I would say, for customers who think that they can really uptake this quarterly update quickly in less than a month. And I think it should be the vast majority of you, by the way. And then we have the second option, which is, okay, I don't think I will have time to do my entire testing in 1 month, in less than a month, actually. So I won't go down the first route, and I will just make sure that I minimize the time when 20D is not in production. So between your current version and 20D, you want to minimize the time after Flash is decommissioned. By the way, it's true. It's not a fake news. I've received a message from Adobe recently asking me if I wanted to remove my Adobe Flash install on my computer. Obviously, I said no, but which means that Adobe is taking proactive steps to prevent you from using a Flash after January 1st, 2021. So the second option, obviously, is to make sure that you test you uptake 20D as soon as possible. You take more time to test it, and in the meantime, you make sure that you update your templates, and they don't need any modification between the 1st of January and the moment you will uptake 20D in production. So that's, I would say, the caveat. And the other one is that you need to make sure that your customers, your end users, don't use embedded reports, or they can live without them for a short period of time, and then you book your update, or you let CloudOps do it for you. I would rather recommend that you book your update to do that on the time and date that you're comfortable with. Okay. So that's that was a long discussion with myself, but I think it's worth outlining those two options to make sure that you have that clearly in mind. So we have other key enhancements that we can talk about. Recruiter System Connect. Yeah, you are uptaking Fluid. You have LinkedIn Recruiter Seats. You need to test that and to uptake this if you're comfortable with it. So there is no LinkedIn staging environment. I repeat this, there is no LinkedIn staging environment. You cannot test that. So the only way to be more comfortable with the LinkedIn Recruiter System Connect is to enable it in Taleo for a small subset of the population, either through the capabilities that we have in Taleo, or by discussing with your LinkedIn CSM and to ask them to create some limited dashboards. I think they have this capability. And so you can test that on a subset of your entire population. And once you're happy with that, you can expand. So these are the, I would say, the screenshots of where you can find the LinkedIn iCode once it's activated. Here we have a list of, I would say, places where you can see LinkedIn information. So in the history tab, and in Taleo, and this is the view from LinkedIn Recruiter System Connect. So, and basically I'm missing a few additional screenshots, but yeah, you have the possibility to see the LinkedIn profile of the candidates when you are obviously in Taleo. That's another plus that you have. Okay. So the other improvement that I would like to talk about is the apply as guest. Not enough customers are uptaking the apply as guest and the apply with LinkedIn. So we would like you to look at that. This is something that is very popular with the customers who have uptaken this capability, even if we had some feedback about the fact that I could do that only one time. Yes, that's true. But that's really important for, I would say, scarce resources who are not very active candidates and who don't want to, I mean, who are very interested in one job at your organizations, like a legal stuff, and who don't care about the rest of the jobs. And that's something that you can really enable to make that easier for them to apply to these jobs. Then we still have the apply with LinkedIn that that came earlier, and that is becoming successful. It takes time, but that's something that really is really taking up. So, and the last one I would like to talk about is the digital assistant. So we are transforming this digital assistant into a skill. What does it mean? It means that with this digital assistant, candidates are able to search for opportunity, they're able to apply to jobs, retrieve their submission status, and I think one of the biggest value is that they can get their answers to questions in a conversational way. So if you've not tried yet to leverage this digital assistant, please have a look at this Customer Connect post. And obviously, you will need to buy the digital assistant to leverage that. So it's not free of charge. So I just want to be clear on that. Okay. So now what's beyond 2020 and what's beyond Fluid? Okay. So what's important is that we continue investing in Taleo. And as we've seen, we will have in 2020 enhancement to the recruiting experience. But we will also start the onboarding experience in Fluid. So because onboarding, like the rest of, I would say, like the recruiting, the previous version of the recruiting UI needs some uplifting. Okay, I was talking about the four objectives of the initial Fluid project. And what you see here is that we will be working on the REST services and JavaScript support to enable extensibility. So that will start as soon as, I would say, the enhancement to recruiting experience are done and dusted. And the idea is that you will be able to use the REST APIs to extend your solution. And we will also be working on the accessibility. That's something that we should have done before, but the Fluid UI is, I would say, 90% accessible. We still need to go through the certification process to make sure that we can publish the VP80, so which are the accessibility, which is the accessibility framework for Oracle that includes the vast majority of the accessibility regulations that exist across the globe. And last but not least, we will resume working on the top voted ideas for candidates and internal users that are in the idea lab. And that's something that be able to delay the correspondence, for example, is one of the top ideas that we think we're going to be working on. But there are many other ideas that you've been keen enough to log in. So, and we will continue work. And we will resume, I would say, working on that. And obviously, we'll address all the SRs and the compliance requirements. So we have a lot of security work that is done in the background that you don't see to make your solution as secure as it can be. You know that some of our competitors have been hacked. And their candidate data have been leaked to the public world. So that's something that at Oracle we are very vigilant about, and we need to spend quite a lot of time on that. And I want to call this out because that's something that is not acknowledged. And the fact that so far, let's touch wood, we have not suffered any major problem in this area is due to the hard work that we are putting here. With that, I think I will stop talking and see if we have any question in the Q&A. So I had a link somewhere. So yeah, we have three questions. Is it now confirmed that Taleo will move to a mandatory quarterly update cycle after 20D? So yes, it is confirmed that it will move to a quarterly update after 20D. So yes, because we've seen that it's beneficial to everyone. So you have the latest version of the code. There are and there are less bugs. And we can fix the bugs on the latest version of the code. We don't have to backport to several versions, and that's easier for everyone. You can plan for that. You know that they are coming, and we have made the things in a way that make things easier to uptake. You have less testing to do because you, etc., etc. So by the way, you can use RPA, so robotic process automation, in your staging environments, not in your production environment, in your staging environment, without any modification of the terms and conditions to help you with this testing. You can automate this testing by using robotic process automation tools in order to do that. Another question, is there a build of any blind CV screening functionality plan for Taleo in the future? So that's something that you can achieve today in Taleo, and we have customers doing that already. So you have the sensitive information capability that can help you hide some information from the hiring managers if they don't have this type of permission. So you can do that in your Taleo environment today. There is this left hand side card in which you have the school. So if school is something that you want to hide, it's not possible. That's the only, I would say, limitation that I found today. And you can ask the candidate not to attach any PII in their attachments in their resume. So that's one. We have a partner called Mivite with whom we are working at Transportation for London, and they are able to mask PII in the attachment. So if you want to go further, they can do that. And you can also use TCC to make things more efficient, where you can scramble data, etc., etc. So there is a combination of tools that you can use today to be compliant with this blind CV screening for hiring managers. Yes, we will work on something better in the future, but that's not planned for, I would say, the beginning of 2021, maybe the second half of 2021. And last thing is there any plan to review change resume parsing functionality in 2021? No, but we can have discussions on that. So whoever is asking this question, please reach out to me and tell me what you want to achieve with that. So I think we are at the top of the hour. If there are no other questions, we can finish this session. And thank you very much for attending. I hope it was kind of helpful and that I brought some interesting information. And for customers who are interested, we can schedule follow-up sessions, one-on-one sessions. It won't be today because I don't have time, but yeah, please work with Emily or Melissa, I think, to log your request, and we'll see how we can accommodate some one-on-one half an hour or 20 minutes conversations where I can address your specific concerns. Thank you very much. Have a very good version 1 event, and see you next time. I hope in person this time. Thanks.